The Sunshine Coast is one of the fastest growing regions in Queensland, with 200,000 people expected to move here by 2041. And as that growth was starting to occur, people were seeing more activity in their local areas, and actually contacting us around how they find out more information. All that information was online. One of the issues was that it was a search and retrieve type system. So unless you knew exactly what you were looking for, it could be quite difficult to find information. On top of that, I guess customer expectations were changing. They were more and more sort of tech savvy, time poor, so used to using other platforms that made it really easy to get information at their fingertips. And we were really keen around sort of keeping our community informed and making sure that our processes were transparent. So we took this issue really seriously and thought it's something that we really need to tackle. Development.i is a development tracking system, so it has all of our development applications, building and plumbing applications online. What it does is it takes from a sort of search and retrieve system to a set and forget system. So essentially what that means is any user can come in and log in and they can set preferences which that they're interested in, and based on those preferences they'll get email notifications. They can do that based on where they live in a radius around their house. For example, if I'm interested in things that are development applications within a kilometre of my house, I can put that into the system and I'll be proactively notified when something meets those parameters. Above and beyond that, it is if you don't want to get email notifications, it also provides a range of filters and search functionality which really bring development application tracking into the 21st century. It's visual, it uses mapping platforms and a range of advanced searches which essentially allow a user, irrelevant of what they're looking for, to quickly start to sort of filter down and drill down on those items of interest and find what they're looking for. So development is something of interest to a really broad group of stakeholders in our community, and we did quite a lot of stakeholder assessment before we even started developing Development.i. And one of the approaches we took was to get them into the design phase. So quite early on we brought people from the industry into a room, we brought community members into the room, we brought special interest groups into the room, and what we really tried to identify in detail was what the current problems or challenges were, but also how they use the current system. And what we found, there was a real broad set of use cases, and actually much broader than we anticipated. So through the journey of development, we built a lot of, I guess, user case studies, which then informed our business requirements, and that basically set the foundation for what Development.i was going to look at. We also involved those same community groups in the development process. So along the way, we had really good buy-in from these groups, and we really appreciated the time that they gave us as part of testing. And by the end of the product, they'd really been on the journey throughout, that there wasn't really any great surprises. And what also was a real value of that process is that we built champions on the journey, and they became our best advocates, and still to this day are our best advocates. Throughout the journey, we have also engaged with a number of councils and public centre entities more generally, including our local government association of Queensland and the state planning department. We found that there was actually the problems that Sunshine Coast were having, or the challenges that we had here, were not unique to the Sunshine Coast. They were being experienced across Queensland, across Australia, and probably even internationally. So pretty early in the process we thought, well, there's actually an opportunity for this product to provide value to communities outside the Sunshine Coast. We tested that through a market sounding approach. And look, we did market sounding before we decided to build Development.i, and what we found at the time was there was nothing really on the market that met our business requirements. They tended to be very focused on a narrow group of stakeholders, and we took through our development and design process a broader view of what good value looks like in this space. So since then we've actually engaged with a commercial partner under a licensing agreement, and they're now working with a number of councils, particularly across southeast Queensland, to implement development.i and make this available to communities across Queensland, if not Australia. There's great benefits in that for us locally because it also means that we will receive a royalty from that agreement, which essentially will end up paying for development.i and providing this increased level of service both now and into the future at no cost to the council. And as we scale up that product, there's also real opportunities for the local government industry more broadly, the ability to essentially translate data sets from various councils across the state and build it into an engine which enables advanced analytics. And one of the real values we've had at Sunshine Coast Council is understanding how our customers and how our stakeholders engage with this development information through the back-end analytics. And that's something that we see great value in terms of how we sort of educate around different types of developments, how we actually, I guess, continue to engage in a meaningful way and be more proactive in the way how we engage locally, but with a bit of luck as the product gets picked up across the broader state, how we engage on planning at a state level as well.